All right, let's dive in. We're taking on Dan Millman's Body Mind Mastery audiobook today, and I'm really curious to see what we can get out of it. It's not just for athletes,
Or
right?
no, not at all.
It's for everyone,
Exactly. It's really about applying these ideas to life in general. I think
Yeah.
that's what makes Millman's work so fascinating. Kind of bridges that gap between, physical mastery and mental and even spiritual growth.
Yeah. We'll be talking about things like mental practice, the power of imitation, oh, and how to approach competition in a way that doesn't make you, crazy. But first, that study with the basketball players. You know the one where they divided them up into groups? Some physically practiced free throws, some just visualized it, and some did something else entirely.
Yeah.
And get this, the mental practice group, they got almost as good as those actually shooting hoops. That's
It's like training your brain like you would any other muscle.
right.
You're strengthening your mental game. And, the great thing is you're not reinforcing any bad habits.
Hmm.
Millman talks about how efficient mental practice is.
Yeah.
You can refine those skills without, wearing yourself out physically or even making mistakes.
Makes sense. You can do it anywhere, too, anytime. When I was a gymnast, I used to mentally rehearse my routines before even getting on the mat. Like, my body just knew what to do, and the fear, gone.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You are essentially programming your subconscious for success.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, isn't it? How our mind can have such a huge impact on our physical performance.
Yeah.
I mean, Millman even talks about athletes who, take a break from their sport, and when they come back, their technique is somehow better. And it's just from thinking about it.
Wow. That's wild. Okay, so now Millman calls imitation the ultimate technique, which I have to admit, at first I was like, really?
Mhm.
But the more I thought about it, it's true. Think about how we learn as kids. We're copying everything. We watch, we mimic, and bam, we can walk, talk, ride a bike.
Exactly. It's all about role models.
Yeah.
By observing people who are already excelling in things we want to be good at, we can, accelerate our own learning process.
Millman says, don't envy, emulate. Find someone you admire, right? And really break down their techniques, their habits, even like their facial expressions, if that's what you need. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's really important to choose good role models, right? Focus on those positive traits, those effective techniques,
Yeah.
and then adapt them to your own strengths and weaknesses.
Not just blindly copying, right? It's more like studying, understanding the principles behind their success.
Absolutely. It's about being intentional about how we grow, actively seeking out those who embody those qualities that we want to cultivate.
Makes sense. So, something for everyone listening. Think about a skill you want to improve, and then ask yourself, who could I learn from? Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about competition. We often hear how it brings out the best of us, pushes us to our limits.
Yeah, for sure.
And Millman, he acknowledges that. He says competition can be a way to see our strengths and weaknesses, what we need to work on. It can teach us about effort and results, even be a form of moving meditation if you're really present in the moment.
Absolutely.
But there are downsides, too. It's like a coin, two sides. Millman doesn't sugarcoat it. That pressure to win no matter what, the hostility that can come out, and just reducing everything to winner or loser. Ugh, never like that.
Right, right.
He uses musical chairs as an example,
Yeah.
that game all kids play. And he shows how that win at all costs mentality is already there, right? From childhood.
Yeah, it's subtle, but it's there.
Yeah, it teaches you there's not it for everyone. You got to fight for your spot. It makes competition, even in silly games, seem normal. It makes me think of Alfie Kohn, the psychologist.
Oh, yeah.
He says competition, well, it often hurts self-esteem and can actually make you perform worse. And he wants to create more cooperative games, which I think is a cool idea.
Yeah, I think it makes us question our assumptions about competition.
Yeah,
It's not always the best way to get the best out of people.
exactly. Maybe we need to find a balance. Competition can be a tool for growth, sure,
Yeah.
but we got to be aware of the traps, not get stuck in that I got to win mindset. What do you think?
Absolutely. The key is to approach it mindfully, right? Focus on improving yourself, not just beating the other person.
So for everyone listening, think about how you approach competition, whether it's sports or anything else in life. How can you make it healthy and productive for you? Food for thought.
Now let's talk about something else Millman emphasizes, the mental game. He says preparation goes way beyond just physical conditioning.
Right.
And he brings up this idea called overload cutback.
Overload cutback. Yeah, what is that exactly?
Yeah.
Sounds intense.
You're pushing your limits in training on purpose, going further than you need to. And then, strategically, you ease up before the big game.
Yeah.
It's like priming your body A&D your mind. You've already done more than what's required, so you feel more confident, more relaxed when it actually counts.
So you're kind of tricking your mind and body into being ready for anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. Didn't Millman give some pretty interesting examples of how to do this?
Oh, absolutely. Runners doing longer distances than they need to, batters facing pitches from closer than usual, even practicing with sensory deprivation.
Sensory deprivation. Wow, that does sound
It's
intense.
all about challenging yourself, pushing your comfort zone, building resilience.
And what's cool
Let-
is that Millman says we shouldn't be afraid of those pre-competition jitters, those
Yeah,
nerves.
absolutely. It's just your body gearing up.
Yeah.
It's a natural response, not something to be feared but embraced.
So use them, right? Don't fight it.
Exactly. Channel that energy through movement, breathe deeply. It's all part of the
Oh.
excitement.
Now, when it comes to the competition itself, we can't control everything that happens out there. But Millman reminds us that we can control our own body, our actions. He even compares it to a chess game. You got to have strategy, mental sharpness. What do you think of that?
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It emphasizes the mental game, the importance of thinking ahead, planning your moves.
It's not about sabotage.
No, no, it's about staying in control of your game,
Yeah.
not trying to mess up your opponent.
Exactly. Playing your best, respecting the game, respecting everyone involved. And I love this quote from the book. The game will never be more than a game. It's a good reminder, even when things feel super important.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about the process, the challenge, not getting too hung up on the outcome. And speaking of getting lost in the experience, let's talk about Satori, or what some people call the zone. Millman talks about reaching this state where everything flows, your performance is just effortless.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, he describes it as feeling completely alive, your senses are heightened, you feel connected to everything around you. It's almost mystical. He even connects it to stories like the Tea Master and the Samurai. This Tea Master is challenged to a duel, to the death. And he goes to Miyamoto Musashi, the famous sword master, for advice.
Oh, wow. So did he learn some secret sword technique, like super fast?
No, not quite. Musashi asks him to serve tea. And as the tea master performs the ceremony with total serenity, total concentration, Musashi realizes he already has the key to facing death with honor.
Wow. So it wasn't about fighting skills, but mastering his inner state.
Exactly.
That calm, that presence, even when faced with danger. Powerful stuff.
It is. And it makes me think about those athletes who just seem to perform effortlessly, almost like they're in a constant state of flow. Millman calls them body-mind masters. He says they have this relaxation about them. They inspire others without even trying.
Like they've integrated all these principles into their very being.
Exactly.
They're not just practicing athletics, they're practicing everything. Their minds are present in whatever they're doing. Washing dishes, walking, competing.
It's incredible, that level of awareness. It's not about separating practice from performance. It's about bringing that same intention to everything.
So the question for everyone listening is, how can you bring that same mindfulness to your everyday activities? How can you become more like a peaceful warrior in your own life? Something to think about.
Definitely. There's still so much to explore as we continue our deep dive into body-mind mastery.
Back again for more of our deep dive into body-mind mastery. We're talking about how to apply these principles, not just to sports, but to life, period. It's pretty amazing stuff. Really makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, it's like shifting your whole perspective, instead of feeling like you're like battling against everything. It's more like life is a practice. It's about learning, growing all the time.
Yeah, I love that. It's not about waiting for those big moments, the competitions, the performances. It's about finding that flow, even in the everyday things, the what's the word, mundane stuff.
Exactly. Millman calls it the practice of daily life.
Oh,
It's about bringing that awareness, that intention to everything you do. Like that tea master preparing tea with the same focus he'd bring to a duel.
speaking of the tea master, you mentioned a story, something about a tea master challenged to a duel by a samurai.
Yeah, yeah. So he knows he can't win with the sword.
Right.
So he goes to Miyamoto Musashi, the famous sword master, for advice.
And what did Musashi do? Did he teach him some super secret sword technique in a few hours?
Nope, not at all. He asked the tea master to serve him tea, and as he's doing the ceremony with complete serenity and concentration, Musashi realizes that the tea master, he already possesses the key to facing death with honor.
Wow. So the key wasn't fighting at all. It was his internal state.
Exactly, yeah.
Having that calm, that presence, even when there's danger. That's incredible.
It is. And it makes me think about those athletes who just, perform effortlessly, almost like they're always in the zone. Millman, he calls them body-mind masters. He describes them as having this kind of relaxation about them. They inspire people without even trying.
Yeah, it's like they've integrated all these principles into who they are, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just practice, it's everything they do. Their mind is present whether they're washing dishes, walking, or competing in a championship.
Right. That level of awareness, it's really something. For them, it's not about separating practice from performance. It's about bringing that same intention to every single moment.
So powerful. So I got to ask our listeners, how can you bring that kind of mindfulness to your everyday life? How can you be more like a peaceful warrior?
It's a great question to think about. Millman also talks about how these body-mind masters, they radiate security and inspire others. It's like they're not even trying. It just emanates from
It's
them.
like it's contagious almost.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It makes you want to be around them, to learn from them. And it makes you realize that this journey, it's not just about personal growth. It's about contributing to a more peaceful world.
I love that. As we master ourselves, we naturally become more compassionate, more understanding. We can create positive change around us.
Yeah. Millman, he calls it a rebirth of the body-mind master. This continuous evolution, shedding old patterns and stepping into your full potential.
So true. It's about recognizing that success, it's not just about those external achievements. It's about how you show up, how present you are, the impact you have on others.
He has this great line. He says, use natural law to master your training and use training to embody natural law. I love how he connects those two.
It's like this cycle of growth, you
Yeah.
know? The lessons you learn, whether it's on the field, in the studio, wherever, they all feed back into your own personal development and the other way around.
And as you go on this journey, the lines between, the physical, the mental, the spiritual, they start to blur.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It is. And Millman has this beautiful passage where he asks you to imagine you're reaching the peak of a mountain.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
You round the last bend in the path in a state of Satori, in the flow, in the zone, and you see the peak before you.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
Then you notice someone standing there smiling at you with bright, clear eyes, a master of daily life.
Wow, that's powerful.
You walk up to the master, filled with gratitude. As the master's face comes into focus, you realize that the master is you.
It's like the journey is about discovering who you already are.
Exactly. And that brings us to the end of part 2 of our deep dive into body-mind mastery. It's been amazing exploring these concepts, and I hope you found some valuable insights that you can, take with you.
And we're back diving deeper into Dan Millman's body-mind mastery. It's really cool how he brings together like sports and philosophy and personal growth. It's more than just, a typical sports book.
Definitely. It's like he's saying, hey, you've got a university, a temple, and a gymnasium inside you.
I love that. It's about training your whole self, not just, your physical body.
Exactly. And as you explore that inner world, you start to see the parallels
Yeah.
between those challenges you face, on the field and the challenge you face in life in general.
Yeah, yeah, like those moments in competition where everything's on the line. You gotta dig deep, push past your limits, and just trust your gut.
Good.
Those moments, those are the ones that really show you who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses. And those lessons, you can take those anywhere. It's not just about sports.
Absolutely. And Millman shares some amazing stories about those breakthrough moments, like when he won the World Trampoline Championships. He was feeling nervous, doubting himself, and then he hears this voice from his past saying, "Stop thinking and jump."
Wow. That's got to be powerful to hear that.
It is. It's like a reminder to get out of your head sometimes,
Right.
to trust your training, trust your instincts, trust your body.
Overthinking, that can be the worst.
Totally. He also talks about another competition where he just found himself doing this move he'd never done before, effortlessly. Like everything was just happening as if on its own, he says.
It's like those moments of Satori, the zone. Everything clicks, time slows down, your senses are heightened, you feel totally connected to everything.
It's almost like you go beyond your limits.
And you
Yeah.
become something bigger than yourself.
Exactly.
Those peak experiences, they might not last, but they show you what's possible when you really bring together your body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah. They show you that you're capable of so much more than you think. And as you cultivate those qualities, the discipline, the focus, the awareness, they start to affect everything you do.
It's like this ripple effect, right? You become more present, more resilient. You're more aligned with your purpose.
Millman, He encourages you to embrace the whole journey, to see every experience, the wins, the losses, even the everyday stuff, as opportunities for growth.
It's about remembering that the path itself is the destination.
And never forgetting that we're all peaceful warriors in training,
Yeah.
capable of creating a more harmonious, fulfilling world for ourselves and for everyone.
That's a great message to end on. So as we wrap up our deep dive into body-mind mastery, I'm curious, what's resonating with you listeners? What are you taking away from all this, and how are you going to apply these principles to your own life?
It's been a pleasure exploring body-mind mastery with you. And remember, the journey, it doesn't end here. Keep exploring, keep practicing, and keep striving for mastery in every area of your life.
Until next time, keep diving deep.